What's up, everybody, and thank you for listening to Mastering the Mindset. My name is Dariusdotch, and I'm an actor, hip-hop artist, and fitness and life coach. And I'm here to personally help you train and improve your mindset so that you can, 1, become the best version of yourself mentally, and 2, gain focus and motivation to be able to take action and achieve the success in life that you want and deserve. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to my channel, and at the end of this episode, if you liked it, please share it with a friend or loved one or someone who would benefit from hearing this message. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm ready to go on this journey with you, and that journey begins now. All right, so before we get started with this episode, I first want to say that this is a 2-part episode, and we're talking about ego and the fact that you have an ego, and most of you probably would disagree with that, especially if you're a person who has had a lot of up and downs lately. We're talking about your ego, how it can actually be a big reason for those ups and downs, and how to work on it. So this is the second part. We're going to talk about some of the not so obvious ways you have an ego, as well as what to do next. So the first part, we talked about more obvious ways and some things you definitely do, but you don't realize it's your ego causing you to do them. So I highly recommend you listen to that one first. And if you already heard the first one, then let's dive into this thing. So let's talk about those less obvious ones. Number 1, seeking outside approval. Seeking outside approval is an important one to realize. And not only seeking outside approval, but seeking it for reward. The addiction of other people's approval is an ego thing on your part. You can't love yourself without being yourself. And you can't be yourself if you don't believe in yourself. You can't love yourself without being yourself. And you can't be yourself if you don't believe in yourself. By seeking the approval of other people all the time, it means you're lacking in personal belief. And this is definitely one thing that I have been a victim of. It can be easy to feel like you need someone else to tell you that you did good before you actually feel like you did. So that's number 1. The second one, being afraid to be alone. People who are afraid to be alone or can't be alone have an ego issue. They can't be with themselves, with their own company. Are you comfortable in your own presence? And this goes hand in hand with if you truly love yourself. And forgive me for going through these really fast. I want to get to them. I want to get them out, for 1, and respect your time. And 2, make sure I can finish the conversation in these 2 episodes. So that's number 2. Number 3 is only hanging out with people who agree with you. You only hang out with people who believe exactly what you do in politics, in religion, in education, style. The truly confident person is comfortable and willing to associate with people who have different opinions and express them. But the unconfident people, the unconfident people, the ones who can't be around people with different ideas than them because their ego won't let them, only surround themselves with people that are going to agree with everything they say and do. That's a formula for no growth. You don't have anyone around you to challenge you. That's 3. Number 4, being easily offended by criticism. If you're offended by people's criticism, you really have an ego issue. And I think that one is actually one of the more obvious ones. Okay, I got 2 more. 5, being stuck in the past. Are you constantly telling old stories from the past? That's an ego issue. All the accolades you had in high school, all the cool achievements you had at your old job, what you did once way back then, that's ego. Where are you going? What are you currently doing? What's next for you? Constantly reciting the past means that you ain't living in the present. And the last one, constantly apologizing. Somebody who was always apologizing about something. And let me be clear. I'm not talking about those people that just apologize all day for the simplest things, like that person who you bumped into by mistake and they tell you, I'm sorry, or that person who says, I'm sorry for dropping the pencil when they go to hand it to you. You know those people. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that do the same thing to you or somebody, and instead of fixing it and making sure it doesn't happen again, they take the easy route and just apologize without doing any of the work. That's ego. And I lied, I got one more. And this is the biggest one. Worrying about what everybody thinks about you. If you're constantly worried about what everybody thinks about you, you have an out of control ego. Sounds crazy. I know. You would think that because you do care what they think means you don't have one. It's the exact opposite. People with no egos love themselves so much that they know who they are deep down to their core, and other people's opinions just don't matter. They don't need the approval of other people. All they need is whatever they believe in, whether that's God or some other source that gives them life and energy, the universe maybe, and their love for themselves. So those are all the different issues with ego, all the things and the ways how ego impacts your lives. And some of these are real obvious and a lot of them not so much. But let's wrap up and talk about you for a second. What's up, what's up, what's up? I want to take a quick moment to say thank you so much for listening to this episode and to also let you know that this podcast is 100% donation driven, which means it's completely funded by you, the listener. So if you like the content I have to offer, I would love it if you can make a donation and you get to pick the amount. I left links in the description of the video as well as my homepage. You can choose which way benefits you the best to donate. And if you need more options, please feel free to email me at dariusdotch@gmail.com. That's dariusdotch@gmail.com. Again, thank you so much for being here, and let's get back to it. So, wouldn't the ultimate version of you not brag, not boast, not tell stories about the past, not worry about what other people think? Somebody that can take criticism well. All the things we discussed over these 2 episodes, the ultimate version of you would have none of those things, right? I believe the way we remove our ego is we love ourselves. We believe in ourselves. And that way we know ourselves. And so moving forward, I want to challenge you to start giving yourself a little more credit. And when you see these things start to show up in your life and who you are, recognize that these are ego issues and check yourself when it happens, because these things can lead to a setback. What happens is we start to think, especially when things are going well, that we have so much figured out. We think we're on the right track and we're killing it, and we stop working on ourselves. We stop reading the books. We stop working out as hard. We feel like we deserve a break, and we let the momentum we built up go to our heads, and we start to coast. And when we do that stuff, the negative effect doesn't show up right away. It shows up weeks, months later. It shows up down the road. And that's the problem. Think about whatever slump you may be in right now, whatever setback you're experiencing. I bet that more than likely you can look back a few months, maybe even a little longer, and see how you started that downward spiral. And it usually starts when you're feeling good and you think you're in a good place, and you start to slowly slip and you don't even know it. Failure or the setback is delayed. Same thing in business. If a business stops doing what made them successful, the company won't fail right away, but over time, it's going to get worse and worse and worse, and they'll look up and realize they're in trouble. Same thing with you, with us, with me. The negative result always trails the negative behavior. The negative result always trails the negative behavior, and I definitely see this in myself. If I look back at all the times when I had to pull myself up out of a setback, it's because I got comfortable. I stopped doing the things required to win. And if you listen to the first part of this episode, this 2-part episode, the first part, I opened up by saying, I want you to do great things, and how I believe in you and how you can turn things around for you. And I meant that. And for you to turn things around, you have to understand that you have to do the things now. You have to start the work now. And just like negative results come later, so will the positive ones. And the positive ones, they take longer, but they come. Most of the folks I follow, the entrepreneurs and the life coaches, they all say it takes about 6 to 12 months to see the positive results from your hard work, whatever that thing you may be working on. And that's longer than the negative results, which come to about 30 to 120 days. But the positive ones don't end up showing up until later. So remember that when you start working towards something and you don't see progress, keep going. You haven't gotten there yet. And if you stop doing the things that you need to get you there, the negative results are going to come faster and you're going to have to work that much longer to get the positive results. And it's not fair, but I'll be damned if it's not true. Don't let your ego get in the way and say, man, I'm doing all this stuff and it's not working. That's a delayed gratification that's going to come. And on the other side of the coin, if you are winning, don't stop doing the things that got you there, because you're not far away from a setback if you do. And that is how ego gets us. So let me say again that you're supposed to do something great in life. You're supposed to be happy and successful. And it all starts with loving yourself. And I'm not just talking about self-love, meaning saying I love myself, I'm beautiful, I'm enough. All that is important, but what I mean is to do things that are true to who you really are. Do things that will remove that ego and allow you to be you. Doing the work every day on yourself or your business every day, even though you don't see results, that's a true lack of ego. Doing the work and showing yourself how much you believe in yourself, knowing that the delayed gratification is going to take some time, but it's on the way. So that's what I got for you today. If you like this episode, please share it with somebody that can benefit from this, somebody who is a friend or a family member, somebody who has goals and is trying to improve their lives. So thank you again, and let's get it in.